Imagine standing outside on a calm afternoon. The ground feels steady. The world feels unmoving. But in reality, you are hurtling through space at incredible speed. At the equator, Earth spins at about 1,670 kilometers per hour, or over 1,000 miles per hour. Now picture this. What if, just for 5 seconds, Earth suddenly stopped spinning? Not slowed down, not gradually, stopped. What would happen to the oceans, the atmosphere, and to us? And what would happen when the spin started again? This thought experiment is terrifying, fascinating, and deeply revealing about the forces that shape our world. Earth's hidden motion. To begin, let's understand what we're dealing with. Earth rotates once every 24 hours, creating day and night. This rotation is so smooth we don't feel it. Yet it drives weather systems, ocean currents, and even the shape of the planet itself. Because of rotation, Earth bulges slightly at the equator. Without it, gravity would pull everything into a more perfect sphere. The spin also keeps the oceans distributed, the atmosphere in motion, and satellites in stable paths. Stopping this motion, even for a few seconds, would unleash forces beyond imagination. The instant stop. If Earth's surface suddenly stopped spinning but the atmosphere kept moving, the result would be catastrophic. At the equator, air, water, and everything not firmly anchored to bedrock would continue moving eastward at over 1,000 miles per hour. That means buildings, trees, vehicles, and people would be swept violently into the air. It would feel like the entire planet was hit by an invisible wall of wind, winds faster than any hurricane, tearing across the continents. For 5 seconds, the atmosphere would rage ahead while the solid Earth stood still. The destruction would be unimaginable. Oceans on the move. The oceans, too, would not stop instantly. Their inertia would carry them forward, surging eastward in massive walls of water. Coastal cities would be obliterated as tsunamis thousands of feet high roared inland. Entire shorelines could be reshaped in seconds. Even inland, rivers and lakes would slosh violently, flooding valleys and sweeping away anything in their path. In 5 seconds, Earth's hydrosphere would become a weapon of chaos. The human impact. What about us? Humans are not built to withstand forces like this. Without protection, most people outdoors, or even indoors, would be flung at impossible speeds. The impact would be fatal. Air travel would be instantly doomed. Cars, trains, and ships would be tossed like toys. In short, life as we know it would not survive those 5 seconds unchanged. When Earth starts spinning again, now imagine the second part of the scenario. After 5 seconds, Earth resumes spinning at its normal speed. The atmosphere and oceans, having surged eastward, would suddenly find themselves moving relative to the ground again, but this time in the opposite direction. It would trigger a second wave of destruction. If the first shockwave didn't flatten everything, the rebound would. The double chaos, first stopping, then restarting, would make survival nearly impossible for most forms of life. Longer-term effects. If somehow Earth stopped and restarted without total annihilation, the aftermath would still be catastrophic. The atmosphere would remain disturbed for months, creating superstorms unlike anything we've seen. The oceans would slosh back and forth, destabilizing coastlines and flooding lowlands. The planet's crust might be torn by the sudden stress, triggering earthquakes and volcanic eruptions. Satellites orbiting Earth would be thrown off course, many crashing into the atmosphere. Civilization, if it survived at all, would face a completely transformed world. What if Earth stopped forever? Now let's extend the thought experiment. What if Earth didn't restart after 5 seconds, but stopped spinning for good? In that case, day and night would vanish. One half of Earth would face the sun endlessly, scorching under unbroken heat. The other half would freeze in eternal darkness. Only a narrow strip of twilight might remain habitable. The oceans would migrate, flooding the poles and draining the equator. Gravity alone would reshape the planet. Life would cling to the twilight zone, but civilization as we know it could not survive. Why this will never happen? Here's the reassuring part. This scenario is physically impossible under known laws of physics. No force could stop Earth's rotation instantly without destroying the planet entirely. Earth is massive, nearly 6 sextillion tons. The energy required to stop its spin in seconds would equal the force of an unimaginable asteroid impact, one that would itself end life. So this scenario is safe to explore only as imagination. It teaches us about physics, inertia, and the fragile balance that makes our world stable. The real dangers we faced while Earth won't stop spinning, there are real dangers tied to its motion. The planet's rotation is gradually slowing, by about 2 milliseconds per century, due to tidal forces with the Moon. Billions of years from now, Earth may become tidally locked, showing one face to the Sun forever. But by then, the Sun itself will have changed, and life as we know it will likely be long gone. For now, Earth's rotation remains steady, a hidden engine we take for granted. A thought experiment with meaning. So why ask the question at all? Why imagine something so impossible? Because it reminds us of how extraordinary our world is. The calm surface we live on hides forces of staggering power. Our atmosphere, oceans, and crust are all in delicate balance with Earth's spin. By imagining its sudden stop, we see the fragility of life and the gift of stability. We understand that our planet is not guaranteed to last forever in its current form, and that even small shifts in natural systems can change everything. If Earth suddenly stopped spinning for just 5 seconds, the result would be catastrophic: hurricanes of unimaginable force, oceans turning into walls of water, and life as we know it torn apart. Thankfully, this will never happen. But the thought experiment gives us a glimpse into the hidden power of motion, inertia, and balance. The next time you look at the horizon, remember, the ground beneath your feet is spinning faster than any car, faster than sound itself. And yet, it feels still. That steady motion is part of why life thrives. And perhaps the greatest lesson is this: the stability of our world is not something to take for granted. It is a miracle of physics, a balance that makes our fragile lives possible.